Yeah, so I'm gonna mark that there-ish. Okay, I'm gonna take a front measurement just so I can square the seat up. And I'm gonna call it center-ish. I'm gonna go from the steering wheel. So my steering wheel, can't do that, shit. Actually I can. I'm gonna measure how much room I have from that to the edge and see if that falls into the same area as this over here. So give me 1 second. That's dialed. Don't pay attention to the steering wheel because the steering wheel is way off. So right now, sitting on top of the brackets, on top of the actual seat, which is still a secret, and I think I'm going to call it good here on the driver's seat. I'm going to take my measurements from my current position and transfer that over to the passenger side. So right now, seats are in it, well, not even in, but steering wheel is way off center. So this is going in the trash, not using this steering column or nothing about this whatsoever. I'm looking at the gauge cluster and how square this is to like a normal driving position. Seat is in the far back position. You don't really get a lot of reclining room in this, but it is in the furthest back position it could possibly be in, and that's where it's going to be at. And then if somebody, you know, wants to scoot up and recline a little bit, you can still do that, but this is the furthest back this seat can possibly go, and it is touching the wall. So that lets me know how much room I have for like speaker box and etc. So what I'm gonna do here is transfer the measurements, get the other seat in here off of those measurements, and then I can measure for my center console between the seats, and then I can really start to have a plan for this thing. So it's not like I didn't have a plan for it, but it's not all over the place. We got base measurements, so we can go to other measurements. So we're rocking and rolling, rocking and rolling. So for starters, I know I'm 6'5", but I have a fetish with little ass cars that I don't fit in. So this is definitely not going to work on any level. This is my seating position. I don't like the fact that knees hit here. So I think that getting rid of that, possibly bringing it to an angle. I want this to be exposed. Okay. So that's a lot. It's gonna go bye-bye. And I'm not sure about the angle yet on the dash. I'm unsure about that. But what I am sure about is I know that this is a problem. To how far, I don't know. Y'all probably like, why does he keep using that damn bucket? The bucket is almost perfect as armrest height, for me at least. And if it's close to me, it'll be close to a lot of people. It'll be super comfortable for a lot of people. Because if I'm making it comfortable for me, it's going to be hella comfortable for somebody smaller than me. So, like I said, I think that I need to go down to that bottom line. I'm not sure if I want to swoop back up yet, but I'm going to take this to the house. And once I make one of these, just kind of lay a template down and I got two sides. It's not hard, y'all. I mean, it's hard to make it look good, but it ain't hard to make. Just take your time. Hard work beats talent. Shout out Matt Armstrong. Yeah. So I'm gonna work on the engine bay. All right. Let's see if we can get this junction block out. That saves a lot of headache, doesn't it? Or not? I don't even know. I mean, could you blame the wires for doing what they did? This is crazy. All right, I gotta get those two screws out from the back side of that. We are not using any, and I mean any of this. So I'm just gonna get to cutting. I think that's about what I need to do. I just need to get to cutting. All right. All that, but I'm gonna get this heater box out. Should have brought a deep socket, but kind of too lazy. Walk back to the toolbox. Heater box. Ever since I started. All right. Now it's just a couple of plugs. I think I need to fast forward into 2025. Welcome back to the video. Yeah, I've been jumping all over the place a little bit. Just trying to get stuff knocked out and get it wrapped up for the 99 to the 2000. So, long story short, I've got the air conditioning control unit in, just mounted temporarily. I went ahead and yanked out the section of the firewall. There it is over yonder way. No longer using that. We got a reproduction piece that we got from the interwebs. Gonna tack that in. Right now I'm working on the drain for said condenser, or whatever you want to call it, expansion valve. Wiring, trying to get it sorted out with a painless style wiring harness. Not going to be using a lot of it because we'll be using something else. I'll be using something else. Power distribution block, actually. And two, I need to cut this to fit, and I want to put this drain hole behind here so it doesn't move on me. So I'm going to tap a hole big enough for that, and because I want to finish like the body work and stuff like that, because like I said, I'm all over the place, but things are in sections. Front end's off, hood's there, front clip's over there. I'm missing a lot of stuff to make this engine run, but I have it brand new. I have what I need brand new in the back to make it run, but I would like to make this engine run the way it is before I go crack open a very expensive box to modify this motor or to add to it to make it run. So, long story short, I'm going to finish putting everything where it needs to be done for this air conditioning box. I'm pretty excited about it because I thought I was gonna have to cut the firewall to make it work, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna run their vents there and then run the vents all throughout the cab. It is braced up. She's on brackets, on brackets, on brackets. So she's braced up, she's mounted. Then I need to figure out where I'm gonna run my air conditioning vents. I know I'm probably gonna run one inside the center console. And yeah, from there, just chop all this out, throw it away. Not using any of that. There was a gauge over there and may turn that into an air conditioned vent. I don't see why I shouldn't. It's already a big fat hole, but like I would rather have put it, you know, right in that corner versus right there. But we'll see how it comes out. I may have to just like put a plate there and roll it up, and then we'll put the air conditioning vent over there. But I don't think it's gonna work too well because that's on a corner and I don't have the ball style facing AC vents. So maybe, you know, sticking it there won't be so bad. And yeah, we'll see what we can do. And yeah, I'm gonna get back to work. So I've got a lot of work to do. And I just got a lot of work, so. Anyway, I might be putting some air conditioned vents in the dash. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. What do you guys think? I think I should like throw some vents right there. Because I'm definitely getting rid of the clock, or the clock. I'm definitely getting rid of this oil pressure PSI gauge, for sure. So, all right, for the most part, I'll be doing something very special with this interior. I thought I was gonna paint it. I'm probably gonna paint it and then do something special with it in the first place, but I really don't wanna waste paint on this if I'm not gonna paint it. So we'll see, and I will let you guys know where I'm at. Well, you'll see where I'm at because you'll be watching the video. So I'm just gonna put this, I guess, either on a time lapse or start recording from my glasses or something. I don't know, but we'll figure it out because I've got quite the task going on. So, all right, what I'm gonna do is run the longer piece. Set this in the hole. That should be Gucci right yonder way. I'm gonna run my tapper bit down in there. Here's this. That should not be butt tight. There's that. Now I've got my drain for this thing, so when it builds up water like crazy, it'll drain out and onto the floor. And I can go put one of these on the underside. So now I've got my drain. And that will drip all the AC onto said dirty ground. Now this is a ground. It needs to be grounded there. Power ground. Let me go inside, pick up my Gates belt. Yeah, I'll see if I can do like some type of heater bracket or something. I don't know. I'll see what I can do right here and then run the core there. My thing is that I wanted to run a shut-off valve. That was my main thing. I wanted to hide a shut-off valve. So, for the sake of visual aspects, I will just run the heater core hose over here. We'll mount the shut-off valve somewhere right there. And then we can just manually shut off the heat. Because these little cheap boxes, or they won't say cheap, but those little boxes, they just don't have a blend door. So if the heat's constantly pumping, it's going to take away from the cooling. So if we can just shut the cooling off and just focus on the AC, then we'll have good AC. So I think I'm going to leave that where it's at. And then we'll just focus on everything else. So I'm going to repurpose a couple of hose clamps, heater hose, pin them on the gaps. So I just got sick and tired of working around this engine because it was just like all up in my way. So I decided to go ahead and take the cab off, loosen up the bolts and push it back. And then I was just like, you know what, let's just take the whole dang on thing off and move it out the way. So now I've got plenty of room. Everything's separated and taken out of the firewall. I've cut like a little starter hole so I can use my plasma cutter, get a good idea of where I need to cut for my template to go in here. And I won't say template, but replacement firewall piece, whatever. But I'm sectioning everything out, getting it ready for the interwebs plate that's going to go in here. I've already drew an outline for it. I did a rough cut. I left a lot of metal at the top and on the sides, especially for the hood hinges. I left the original bracket there because it's a lot stronger than the sheet metal, and it's got a good structure for the hood still. And just grinding off all the rough edges from the plasma cutter, all the slag. And for some reason, my plasma cutter kept cutting out. I don't know why, but it was just like it was coming on and cutting off, cutting on. So I was doing little chop cuts. But angle grinder and a good grinding disc took care of all the rough edges. I'm leaving that metal up top, even though it looks like crap. I'm leaving a lot of that up there, just in case I decide to go with the brake pedal and master cylinder up there. I'll have a good piece of something to bite to, and I can back it with a plate. I can't fully weld that plate in until the floor piece comes in. So really there's no painting, there's no nothing. So that floor section is a real hurdle. I won't say hurdle, but it's holding up a lot. So what I'm trying to do now is just work around a lot and see what I can do and get done before that floor piece comes in. Once it comes in, you know, I can tackle a lot, and things will start moving a lot faster. It's already moving fast. It'll just be visually, you'll see a lot. So tacked in on this side, they're solid. They're not going anywhere. I goofed up a little bit. I got like a little gap hole I need to fix there. Oh, and yeah, I'm able to walk through because the frame and the chassis, all that over there, whatever you want to call it, is up there. Surprise! Now you can see the seats. But anyway, I'm starting to work on the brackets for the actual mounting portion, the part that will actually bolt up to the railing of the seat, and then we'll take that, and that will be our base. Just got to get it exactly where I want it. I don't want it really hanging off the edge. You got to be mindful. You know, somebody can bring their foot back, scratch the back of their heel, shoe, whatever. So you want to keep this back as far as you can. There's no guarantee that, you know, something won't get scratched, but I'm going to do my best to make it to the point where you won't scratch anything. So I've got my 2 rails marked. I've got some 1x1 square tubing, and drilling out a couple of holes in it, mounting it, getting everything mounted. It's a little tricky sometimes getting stuff in there when you're making it from scratch. Getting my marks. The rails are way shorter than what they need to be. So this is why the base plate is important, because one, it gives us a little bit more lift. We're not sitting on the floor. And then the rails itself, the square tubing is what I'm referring to. The square tubing will actually extend out to the stops on the floor. I've already center punched my hole right here. So, long story short, how I get that mark, I just swing it right here, boom, boom, center-ish. And the cab is dolo right here. And we got some seats installed, not fully, but that's where they're gonna live. And I have the job of putting one of the most narrowest consoles in this gap. So it looks like it's off because the bag right there is in the way, but I assure you, if my calculations are correct, which hopefully they are, I probably need to go take the bag off that seat. I'm just trying not to get that seat dirty, but I probably could go further in, but I like the way the driver's seat is lined up. So this line here, right here, is the center of the steering wheel, right in the V where the gauges sit. So that's where I've got that seat. And over here feel like, you know, there's nothing really to go off on this side, but I feel like I need to come over more with this seat just a little bit. The bag is kind of throwing it off. Trust me, the bag is throwing it off big time. But I feel like it's still, this seat is still over here. Based off measurements, because I'm looking at that little brick in the middle of the back wall, I still feel like the seat is off just a hair, even though I took measurements, and the measurements say that they're both evenly spaced. So, like, even in the back window, you can see like the headrest part into the window there. And you come over here, and you can see that. Now that I'm looking at it on camera, this seat definitely needs to come over. So I'll be right back. Now, we're in the current seated position. And I feel like the gas pedal needs to be here, not where it's at. I feel like it needs to be over like about 2 inches, 3 inches. And I feel like the brake pedal needs to be here. Yeah. I feel like this is like too far out. It's like a frog. Like, so I think the gas pedal needs to be here. And the brake pedal here. Just a heel toe movement. But it needs to be a small gas pedal, nothing huge. And then you got all this room over here to rest your foot. And if you want to dim or brighten the lights, like this needs to be over here. But at the same time, I feel like it can stay there because it's more of a comfortable position to hit the dimmer switch. Versus having your foot all crammed in doing all this. I know I'm a big dude, and that's a 14 boot, but that feels more natural, you know? This doesn't feel natural. I feel like my kicked out like that. I feel like it needs to be like right in front of this right here, like right in there. If it was a brake pedal, I might go through the floorboard with the brake, but I would like to do like a Willwood pedal right here for the brake. But if I do the master cylinder under the floor, I mean, yeah, that's right, because the master cylinder would be right here, so the brake pedal would be right here, and gas pedal should be, I feel like, right there. So yeah, that's my brake pedal, and this is my gas pedal right here, versus where it's at currently. So that should be easy enough. And even if I do go off the firewall, then I'm slightly off center to go off the firewall, if I do go off the firewall. And I left enough metal up there to bolt into. So, and I left the structural frame over there for the hinges, because it's sheet metal. You know, gotta finish welding it in, but it's tacked in right now. But, yeah. I feel like this is a good seating position. And I haven't shown y'all the seats yet, but I feel like that's a good seating position. Because to me, I feel like I'm dead center. Like belly button straight, right there. So I feel like brake, gas, get rid of that for sure, but the brake should be here just because it's lined directly up with the hole. And I'm talking about this hole right there. That's where the original brake master cylinder reservoir would go for you to fill it, which means you have to pull your carpet up and all that just to get to it, make a mess inside the cab. I don't want to do that ever, so I think we'll just go with the brake booster back on the Firewall, but go with a low profile brake booster. Yeah, I feel like that's the play. Push button, AC vent, and figure out what to do with this. I don't want to put a radio right here. I feel like if I do put a radio here, it's just going to throw off the whole styling of the dash. It'd be a lot easier if I put a radio there, but I feel like it would really screw up the look, the retro look. So I may close this one up and just keep the top three. I feel like that's what I should do. I should just close. Yeah. I'm still debating. So y'all let me know in the comments. Should I put a radio there? I really don't want to put a radio there. But I feel like I should close this bottom half up. And like this is going to get smoothed in and flushed, and there's going to be a vent there for the passenger. And then I'll have two more vents coming out probably in the center console. Because what I want to do is put the radio like right here. I feel like this is the dead center of the truck. So I feel like I have to go in. Like it's not going to be a super big console. So yeah. That's what I'm trying to visualize. But I want it to be a low swooping, like I want it to be like that. I don't want to be like way up here hitting your knee or even your calf for that matter. Like it needs to be something where, you know, armrest here, cup holder there. I feel like cup holder. So cup holder, radio control, and if I'm still going to use what I'm supposed to try to use, I'll put that below it. Because yeah, we're frame off, so the engine and transmission is up there, the frame and all that's up there. So we're sitting on jack stands. The jack stand Jimmy right now. So yeah, so ratchet strap, jack stand. That's where we're at. So I will think about this for a second and I'll be back. So I think this is a good stopping point. I don't want to turn this into like a 1 hour video, but if you haven't already and you made it this far, hit that subscribe button for your boy. Greatly appreciate it, and it'll help me out in the little algorithm of YouTube. So y'all stay happy, stay blessed, keep on pushing.
Those times when you get up early and you work hard, those times when you stay up late and you work hard, those times when you don't feel like working, you're too tired, you don't want to push yourself, but you do it anyway. That is actually the dream. That's the dream. It's not the destination, it's the journey.